Welcome, everybody, to session 13 of our Fear Itself campaign. It occurs to me at this late date that I should probably give some cool names to these individual episodes as they come out, but that's extra work, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. A recap from our last session, since our turnaround time is 27 months in between game sessions. So I guess it's probably kind of hard to keep track of what's happening, but we'll fill you in on the last session. So we started off with endless debating in the car, as we are wont to do. Randy notices that the new guy, the new thug who replaced the guy whose house that we broke into, was leaving. So we go into stealth mode. We run across the street. Randy trips, falls down something. So the guy hammers the brakes, jumps out of the car. Erin starts acting like he's wanting to get high off the dead arm. It goes south really bad. I think Jack had shot at the guy, clipped him. Randy ran for the garage. Erin tackled the guy. It was a really bad scene. It wound up with Jack, I think, executing the guy in the street, New Jack's.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So we go in with the awesome plan. We're just gonna talk to the alien and hey buddy, come on out. It's all cool. And no. See, so the alien is actually in charge. Says that we don't work for him, and then tries to dump a grenade on us. It was really bad. I think it was I don't know if it was Randy or Jack grabs grabs a grenade, jams it back through the little peephole window, blows the friggin' alien to Kingdom Come. He's staggered. We're shooting through the door. It was a really bad scene. Eventually, we kill the alien. Jack carries him down the fire escape, throws him in the truck. We meet up over at the trucking agency, and we are on our way back to Ohio, someplace in Ohio, and on our way to deliver the goods, as it were, and find out what else is going on in the world of the weird and supernatural. So I'll kick it over to Neil and see what he's got in store for us.
All right. Did you say we were still in Philly? You drove back, right?
If you want to say that we made it back, we were certainly on our way back. I don't know if we.
Yeah, you make it back. Yeah, okay. There's no.
We're back.
I'm naming this episode "The Heroes Come Home." That's what I'm gonna do.
There you go. I'm gonna write that down. So at least have one episode that has a name.
You're welcome. I'm good at names.
So you do make it back. Are you going straight? I'm guessing you're going straight to the town where you met or meet Edward. I'm guessing.
I would suggest that on the way back, if we don't have that discussion in the beginning, and be as we get closer, to get home and I take a shower and oh, wait a minute, we've got the dead alien in the back, so maybe we should run over to Invisibility Town first and drop this off.
Oh, I thought we dropped it off at the trucking place.
They had a truck ready for us to go, and we loaded the alien into a refrigerated vehicle, and that's what we've been driving back.
Okay, yeah, so we definitely should drop off this dead alien body before we go home.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Okay. So you go to the diner that you meet Edward at. The waitress, if I can find her name. Ooh, did I not give a name to her? I don't. Oh, I don't have a name for the waitress. I have the hotel hostess, but not the. All right.
There is somewhere. I mean, I could edit it in, or you can make.
There is a name for her somewhere.
I'm pretty sure.
You had a character for the other diner.
I've got Faye. Is that her?
That's at the normal diner. That's at your other diner, not the secret diner.
Well, I've got Lisa here too.
Right? Because Lisa Hendrick was the one whose cousin put the cannon on the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Natalie was the hostess over at the hotel. I guess you didn't.
All right. We'll go with. Oh, that one always comes up to mind, doesn't it?
Flo.
Edna.
Edna.
Edna. I was gonna go with Cheryl to start, and then I'm like, why is like I don't know. That's an improv thing. Like people are always named Cheryl for some reason. Shit. We're gonna go
Candy?
with Darlene.
Okay.
Okay. So, you come into the diner. There's kind of your standard. There's a couple folks kind of sitting in booths or at the counter bar. It's old timey, like diner slash what's it called? Soda pop,
Soda
fountain,
jerk.
soda jerk type deal. And there's a younger girl, probably in her 20s, early 20s, blonde hair, in kind of like the old school, like the pink dress kind of diner motif. And she's like, y'all can take a seat wherever you want. I'll be over in a minute.
No, okay, thank you. Can you send word to Edward, let him know we're here?
Oh, sure, sugar. I'll be right on it. I'll make that call before I even head over. I'll bring you some waters afterwards.
Great, thanks. And coffee.
Got it. Best coffee in the whole
2 malts.
vat. What?
2 malts?
Dual.
I'll take
Strawberry?
Honey, I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
2
about.
malts, Erin.
What? Oh, malts. Gosh. I was like, Dewaltz? What's
That's
a
what I
Dewalt?
thought he said.
Man, all right, I guess you got an appetite. Well, I wasn't going to take. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I want to just take your orders now, then I'll call it order because it seems like y'all are champing at the bit here. She brings a pot of coffee and 3 mugs, fills them up. Has a little creamer, sugar tray. She's like, all right, well, what else can I get you? Okay, 2 malts and anything else. Let me just get it all at once here.
Burger. Nice thick burger?
Yep, burger. What you want? You want all the fixings or
Oh, of course.
lettuce, tomato, onion, ketchup, mustard, typical
Yeah.
American style?
Pickle? Yep.
Pickle, cheese?
Oh, of course.
All right, well, we use cheddar here, but if you want
That's
something
fine.
fancier.
Nope, that's good.
All right, and what about you, Captain Malt? What's your what are you looking for? Other than the
I'll take
malts.
one. I'll take one of his, and then I'll take some fries too, please.
All right. And what about you,
I wanna get-
burly fellow?
I want to get one of those sandwiches. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a ham and cheese, and then you like deep fry it and put powdered sugar on it. You got those? What do they call those things? Like a Monte Cristo? You got a Monte Cristo sandwich?
She's like scratches her head a little bit with a pencil. She's like, I haven't heard of that, but I can certainly ask the cook. Sounds like something we could do.
Yeah. If they can't do a Monte Cristo sandwich, then I'll just get like a big, like a turkey club, with the bacon and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean you gotta get those muscles all fed. Look at them. Are you some kind of bodybuilder or something?
Well, actually, I used to be a pro wrestler by the name of Bandana Jack.
You don't say. I mean, I didn't watch wrestling a lot,
say.
but my brothers did. I didn't know I was in the presence of a celebrity. I'll make sure you get that Monte Cristo. I'm just going to write that down, and we'll figure something out. I mean, they used to always have deep fried everything at the Georgia County Fair, so if you can deep fry an Oreo and a Twinkie, I'm sure I can deep fry a ham sandwich.
Well, thank you, honey.
All right, well, I'll be right back. I'm sure Edward will want to hear from you.
He's probably expecting us. We just want to, let him know that we're here.
All right. She goes back, starts rattling off orders to the kitchen. When she gets to Monte Cristo, he's like, "Who's a what now? The Count of who? Isn't that a movie or a book or something?" And she's like, "No, it's a ham and cheese sandwich, deep fried." And he's like, "I never heard of that, but I'm on it. He'll figure it out." And so you see her kind of walk over to like an old school rotary dial phone. For anyone under the age of 30, just look that up. You've probably never seen one. I'm kidding. I'm sure you've seen them in movies and stuff. So she brings the food in, or like you have a few minutes, the stuff ends up coming to the table. As you're sort of digging in, you see Edward come in a nicely, fairly, well-pressed suit, and his, sort of normal blank demeanor. He sits down. "All right. I'm glad you boys got back in time. I heard you did a fine job, a real fine job."
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because he puts his burger down, wipes his hands on a napkin. He said, it seemed like maybe we weren't doing a good job while we were there. I mean, we were trying as well as we could. This is all new to us.
Yeah, there is always a learning curve, and I appreciate you bearing with us. I just have to say, I commend your efforts, and it seems like you've taken care of everything. So it seems we have a package to take care of.
Yes. Outside, trucks pulled around back. Yeah, there's something in the trailer for you.
You see him like nod and make a couple little like motions, like catchers or third base runner style, coach little swipes, and then kind of like thumbs back. He's like, "Well, all right. Well, I'll have the boys take care of that." So, yeah, I just want to say, congratulations. You've completed your first mission. You're officially Nighthawks. Go team!
Yeah. He looks at Randy, like puts his fist up, like, is this like a cool?
I am still like Randy's just sitting down and he's staring like daggers through Edward and he's not saying a thing.
Now, come on, boys! You've done a great job. You've done a great service to your fellow citizens and stopped a extremely dangerous threat. And not to mention that a serious new drug that could have hit the streets in a very widespread manner. I mean, you've heard crack kills, and you've seen what that does. And it's not the CIA trying to get that drug out there. It's even more insidious organizations. So you've really done something.
So Edward, what is this thing? I mean, do we get to hear anything about this? I mean, like, what? You know what I mean? How much need to know do we get to know here?
Well, of course, some of the information will remain classified. We'd like to protect our interests as well as yourselves in case you are ever apprehended by counteragents and the such. They do exist. As a matter of fact, I think you've had the run in them with yourself, Randy. In the parking lot. That's quite a dangerous organization, and always someone to watch out for. Those cloaked figures running around in the shadows, trying to steal that knowledge and that information. But needless to say, it is it's how would I word it? Not alien per se. let's just say the drug was a physical manifestation from an interdimensional being who happens to change the individuals under its influence, as I'm sure you saw with the specimen. So, other than that, I can't divulge much more, as we don't know a lot more. We do want to investigate the payload that you've brought back. Needless to say, that was not an alien. If you want to know, it was that was a man. Was
No,
being
get
the operative
fuck
word.
out of here.
No, I'm quite serious. This is the level of danger that you're preventing and that you're risking yourselves for. It was not a pretty sight. We were, after some of the tests, we've done a little bit of research. We're not 100%, but trust me, boys, that was indeed a man. Again, operative word, was. I'm not sure what you would call him now, but use the drug enough, and that's what you can expect.
But wait. The people that we saw were all fucked up. Like he was, or it was, whatever, like coherent, and like it fucking threw a grenade at us and it ran away. Like the people that were taking the drug were like in no shape whatsoever. I mean, they were completely out of their heads.
Well, let's just say the entity that we're dealing with in this case, the entity itself is obviously not gone, and may try to manifest itself again in other forms, if not the same form, in other regions. But I think we at least have a much better idea on how to combat it. But yes, we believe intelligent entities from these other dimensions, we'll say, or realities, end up choosing some to, again, they can use their will to influence humans. We're quite susceptible. Our consciousnesses can be altered quite readily and manipulated. And so sometimes they will choose a vessel to do their work, and other times they choose to let those vessels wither and spread chaos and havoc through the world. So I'm not sure if you'd call it lucky which one to be, but needless to say, he was granted that ability to think, is my guess. They need someone to spread it and someone to manufacture and replicate the results. So clearly they would need someone, but the drug, over time, we have spoken to other users that we've done some intelligence on, and they do, although quite addicted to the substance, much like an alcoholic, they'll never not be an addict for this drug. And they do say they have felt almost as if they can feel their bones stretching and their muscles pulling under the influence of the drug. So I'm pretty confident that indeed was a man named Jeff, actually, oddly enough. So yeah, that's the level of scary we're dealing with, and that's why we need teams like you to go out there, stop these evil menaces before they completely wipe out enough of humanity to do some serious damage. Usually slowly, more insidious than some apocalyptic tentacle monster in the sky. That's just something they put on television and movies. It's usually a little more coordinated and a little less, grandiose than that. It's not like these creatures are stupid.
So Erin was like sitting forward, just kind of like leans back in the chair, kind of like the scope of it. Like there's monsters and like whatever, he thought they had an alien, but then he's like, oh, there's like interdimensional beings that can possess people and like make them do shit. And he's like, so that wasn't an alien, and what's to keep those creatures from, like, say, possessing one of us? Like, is there, like, can you protect against that? Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, if you don't take the drug, then you're protected. Well, I suppose it's possible that they could. Anything's possible with many of these cases, but in many cases, it requires human intervention to weaken the barriers between realities or other dimensions, higher dimensions. And in many cases, it's a discovery through pure accident. In other cases, there is literature that has been forgotten or hidden as much as possible from the world that allows those to conjure or seek out some of these entities as well. I'm sure you've heard the stories, demons and devil possessions and satanic rituals. They're not conjuring a fallen angel named Lucifer per se, but often some version of nefarious entity that means to do humanity harm. So yes, many of those stories are based in reality. It's just it gets lost in translation. The telephone game,
So listen, what I also would like to know is, that's all well and good, but can we use some of this footage for ghost facers?
Great question. Well, if I were you, I would say certainly be careful. If you have footage, certainly the interviews with those who are on the drug. I can even provide you with some dialogue that we've collected if you'd like. You can play it and you could have I don't know, it seems like dramatic reenactments are quite popular on these shows. You could have a reenactment, and I'm sure that would really be some stirring, great internet television or whatever it is that you want to call that. I would say you should not use direct footage. Again, if you have potentially obscured footage, quick cuts, shaky camera angles, showing some amount of the creature, enough, of course, to be plausibly deniable, that would be fine. However, we will confiscate all of the footage of the lab directly. Saying it's an alien or some sort of abduction scenario where they're drugging these humans, I would use that sort of cover. Perhaps don't mention interdimensional beings with psychedelic drug labs trying to manifest to humanity and elongating them into terrifying visages of human-like creatures. Spin it as an alien thing. Oh, scary alien, run around. That's what used to do in the 50s, at least.
So Erin,
now,
go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was saying, Erin,
I say, well,
go.
I say we just, we pretty much just straight up murdered a guy. So I'd love to put stuff on ghost facers, but my question is, if we did that, are these people going to see this and assume, hey, these are the guys that killed what's-his-face and come after us? I mean, what do you think the possibilities of that are?
Well, I can't say directly. As far as I know, none of the operating, I guess you would call them cults in some degrees, none of the operating groups who are interested in these entities that I know of were directly involved in this case. So I'm not sure you have much to worry about as far as an organization goes with hierarchies and such. As far as we know, the Philadelphia was the primary source of this drug, and with anyone unable, with no one with people no longer able to get dead arm, it shouldn't be a problem for people to know who you are. Again, most of the people that you've dealt with likely have not seen the man behind the door that you apprehended. So it's unlikely. However, I would again highly discourage you from showing footage of you murdering someone. That I'm just going to go ahead and say that is not a good idea.
So as Aaron sits forward, the cross that he wears from his mother kind of like falls out of the front of the shirt, and he like unconsciously kind of grabs it and sort of rubs it, and then he notices Randy's just kind of like sitting there. He's like, "Randy, you all right, buddy? Like, I mean, you got food. You're good. Like, I mean, we're back. It's okay. Like, what's up?"
Yeah, no, I'm good. You guys just we did it.
That's right, you did, Randy.
I mean,
He doesn't even look at Edward. He just like looks around like he just could care less about him talking right in front of you guys.
All right. So we'll get back. Look, we didn't get any video of murdering people. Like that was shit went bad and things happened. So we have the video on our phones. So like, do you want to download that here? Are you going to give us new phones? Like, how does that work? Like we didn't, or do we have the GoPro? I don't remember.
I think it was GoPros, right?
Maybe it was GoPro. I don't remember.
He reaches into his suit pocket, pulls out a fresh pack of SD memory cards. It's like, well, if you'll swap me the GoPro footage and for these new cards, you'll be ready to go for your next mission when you are ready to engage in new activities, and I will send footage to, he writes down on a piece of paper, an FTP server location, and he's like, we'll of course redact any identifiable or potentially dangerous information and provide you with enough that you can use for your purposes. And again, as I said, the more you gain notoriety in your show, I would assume the more likely you are able to potentially infiltrate more effectively many of these groups. Even those who may seek to do us harm may simply believe you to be naive ghost hunters and occult aficionados who, I'll be totally honest, are often duped into doing horrific things that never goes well for them, but goes quite well for the organizations that convince them to do them.
Well, we've got a leg up on those guys for sure. I mean, we know what's going on now. Like it's like kind of gives them a look like, yeah, we're all over the shit.
That's right. Now you're getting it. Even before, I think you would have been all right. I'm not sure. You're very prudent, and I will say, kudos on that. To even taking out the first creature you took out, it was quite well planned, and able to be able to stop that yourselves with no prior knowledge. So I don't think you would have been duped by the cult. But now, see, they do not know that you know who they are, and so you can feign ignorance to our advantage.
So Aaron like puts his finger to the side of his nose, like, he's like, planning is something that we're really good at. It's the execution that we probably need to work on a little bit. I mean, well, so all right. What's been going? Like, is there anything you can tell us that's been going on here? Is like everybody's safe at home? Erin's mom's good. My mom's good. Like, I haven't called her in a couple of days because shit was kind of crazy. And has there been anything going on that we need to be concerned about here?
No, we've kept an eye on everything. Everything's, full steam ahead. Nothing out of the ordinary, as far as we know. That there's no one even searching around any of the property. I believe once the footage was made public of your first encounter, at least through our channels, it seems to have cooled down now that it's public. That at least the majority of what you shot, is made public, there seems to be less pressure to obtain that footage and information. So it does seem like things have cooled quite down, especially with your families and extended family members. Everything is good. We still have, obviously, patrols and keep an eye on everyone, especially as you continue to proceed through missions. I want to make sure that you're 100% focused on the mission and on your objective. And you cannot do that if you believe your family to be in danger. So I give you my word, we will make sure they are safe and sound. But as of now, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. But yes, everything is just great.
And Edward, what about the money situation? Are we? Do you guys have like direct deposit to our accounts or something? I mean, just I don't want to sound like a spoil sport here, but it's kind of a important thing to talk about. What's going on with that situation?
Absolutely. I wouldn't think of not compensating you for your work. So we do have your bank information. Pardon me for obtaining that without your permission. You can expect a deposit within a day. We should have those funds transferred from. Of course, you will not recognize the bank account from which it is being sent. It is a anonymous, well-obscured account somewhere in the Cayman Islands that we'd rather not describe what bank that is. That's a need-to-know piece of information, but needless to say, a blind account will deposit funds so that you should be more than prepared to be able to cover all your expenses, and if need be, have some additional, pocket money in case needs arise and we can't get you the equipment quite as quickly as you would like.
Well, out of character,
that sounds good to me.
We get paid through the shipping company, right? Like we collect our regular paycheck through the shipping company.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, they could have us like a dummy account set up for that instance. Like if they can't get something to us for some reason, that's a separate account that we could draw from. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would fuck with our taxes and everything. You're like, oh, where did all this money come from?
Yeah. Do you want me to redo that, or are you gonna rerun that one?
I forgot about that too.
Okay.
I'll just leave all this in and then.
Okay. Yeah. It does. I forgot. Yeah, you get regular bi-weekly. No, twice a month. I don't know, whatever. Bi-monthly.
Okay.
Twice monthly.
That's my bad. I forgot about that.
But you do. I will say he does set up a. It's going to be more fun then. He's going to set up a Bitcoin account. So they do have Bitcoin and a couple other cryptocurrencies in case you need to anonymously obtain goods that may not be particularly savory or dangerous to acquire. So he does give you an account that you can go, and there are in some cities like Bitcoin ATM and stuff. So you can get cash from it, and you can buy shit on the dark web. So win-win.
Okay, cool. So now that we're back, like, can we get a couple days? Like, I guess we got to go to work, but like, can we get a little bit of downtime here? Like, we saw some pretty fucked up stuff, and I'm sure we could probably all use like a couple of days or something to kind of like recoup and kind of touch base and kind of get things sort of back to normal a little bit. It was a little hairy.
Absolutely. Look, I don't want you guys to get it burned out, especially after your first mission. I want to make sure you guys are squared away, ready to go, getting out there, getting things done, completing those objectives. I need you guys. I need go-getters like you to really go out there and make things happen. So absolutely, take a few days, take the time you need, and when you're ready to go, come back. And there's always more than enough work on the table. So I'm certain there'll be something.
I got one more question here, Edward. Do you guys have any kind of training facilities here, like a shooting range or a? I mean, I'm just curious if you got anything like that around here that we could use if we wanted that kind of
Certainly, yeah,
training.
absolutely. I can get you training in pretty much anything you need. Just ask and I'll set it up for you. Certainly, as you proceed, you'll probably need some more esoteric training as well. So I'm more than happy to arrange that. That's certainly something that we can accommodate.
Great.
Oh, let me ask you this. So we're in a pocket dimension, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Does time pass the same way here as it does out there? Like, could we read like books here for like days and then go back and it's only been like an hour? Is that how that works?
Unfortunately, no. In this case, space is compressed, time is not.
Ah, okay. All right.
Sorry, it would be very cool if we could do that, but unfortunately, that is beyond the capabilities of our manipulations of the space-time continuum, at least from our understanding.
Gotcha. Okay, I just figured maybe that'd come in useful in the future. I mean, what the hell do I know?
I mean, I will say, space is very convenient to manipulate. Time is incredibly difficult, though. Trust me, it would be great. I would love to be able to go forward and backward in time. We could really solve a lot of problems, but unfortunately, we have not figured that one out. In this case, though, I would say it's more bending space, physical reality a bit, quite different than time, which is a different matter entirely. So, sorry, gents, you'll have to actually do the hard work. That 10,000 hours, you'll have to get those 10,000 real hours.
Well, that's fair. I figured I asked a question. I mean, we're here and you're here, and
That's a great question. I like your thinking. If you figure that out or find anyone who does, let us know. I'm sure we could. We would pay very handsomely for someone who could help solve that problem. We've been working on that for years.
Oh, fuck. Did you ever catch that guy that beat the shit out of Randy?
Catch him? No. We do know. We identified him. He's in the wind, as you would say.
Son of a bitch. All right. See, I like tap Randy on the shoulder. I'm like, we should have kicked that motherfucker's ass when we had the chance.
Hey, listen, we got a couple days off. You never know what could happen.
Well, I mean, if they can't find him, how are we going to find him?
It would probably be advisable not to try to find him at the moment. His compatriots are probably going to be less than friendly if you do run onto him, and due to recent events and you working with us, I don't think it's officially in any of the unofficial channels, but certainly there is some degree of concern over your whereabouts, and so the group he works for is probably going to be protective at the moment.
All right. Hey, could you get us carry permits? Like we could go to the police station, whatever, and do. But can you pull some strings so we could protection and all? I'm not saying we're gonna kill people, but
concealed carry or like a license as a licensed bonded agent, like a bounty hunter or something. That would probably be a little difficult.
That would probably be a bit much, but maybe a concealed carry? I don't even know what the laws are here. I would have, never really investigated.
Well, the law here is whatever the organization says it is, but outside of this town,
Ohio, yeah.
Well, you certainly need a permit. We can look into it. I'm not sure. Even if we pulled the strings, here's the rub. It would require you to have fingerprints on file, which is somewhat of a liability. It's not completely out of the question, but I would consider that, as well as detailed background searches. So as long as you have a clean record and you don't mind having your fingerprints in the system. Now, if they're already in the system from previous run-ins with the law, then perhaps it's not of a concern, and then you're already in the database. But as far as I know, none of you are in the FBI database or the state registry. So that is one concern. I will say it would probably be just as easy for us to bail you out and get a good attorney pro bono if you are picked up for concealing a weapon that you are not supposed to have. I do not condone illegal activities as an operative of the organization, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So it's up to you. I could theoretically pull some strings. It's not that difficult. You really just take a test and have a certificate and then apply for it, but I could certainly push the paperwork through. We know folks that know folks.
Let me get back to you on that one. Maybe we'll just Randy and I'll start hitting the gym, and we can work things out that way. That might be a better.
Well, we can carry blades. We can carry, depending what the state laws in Ohio, other kinds of self-defense, brass knuckles, etc. Some states let you do that.
Pepper spray. We'll get some pepper spray.
Yeah.
Pepper spray, legal. Brass knuckles, not.
Get a taser. Taser.
Maybe. I guess we'll have to look.
I don't know.
Taser, I would have to do some digging. I am not familiar with the laws on tasers in Ohio.
All right, but next time we come back, we'll exchange some information. We'll see where we're at, and we'll move on from there. And it's everybody's safe, so that's good. So we left those other guns with the shipment that we brought back. So I guess if you want to take those back, I don't know how that works.
Of course, we will re-inventory those and put them back in the stockpile. We don't like teams to carry around that degree of firearm. Let's just say if you get pulled over for a minor speeding stop, it's going to be very difficult to explain away why you have those.
No, I fully understand. That's why they are packed in the back. That way you'll have to do a little bit of digging, but they're in there.
Indeed, we're quite good at finding hidden property. Everything we look for is obscured in one way or another. Of course, well, I don't want to use the word again. I try not to use these words loosely, but through magic or whatnot, it's not exactly that what you would think of, but let's just call it that. You get the gist.
All right, hey, that's fair. You do you. It's We'll so we're gonna finish eating, and we're gonna have a little powwow here on our own, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, let me know. You know how to get a hold of me. Thank you again. We appreciate the hard work, and I look forward to working with you again, gentlemen. We have big plans in store, and I think you just may help us accomplish a number of those.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. And don't worry, lunch is on me. He throws down, 220s and heads out. Goodbye, Darlene. Until next time.
And as he's walking out the door, I go, "Great, Edward. Thanks, Edward. See you next time, Edward."
He looks, finger gun.
I'm like, so I just turn to Rennie. I'm like, dude, what's up?
Fuck that guy.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, he pissed me off while we were away, but
I don't know. Can we really trust this guy? When he's here, he's like, "Oh, here, I've got all these things, and oh, here's all this information, and oh, I'm such a nice guy." And then when we're out, he's like, "Oh, not enough information. Get more information. Do this, do that. Fuck you guys." Well, fuck him.
Well, but that's what I said to him in the beginning. Like, I'm glad to hear you say that because, you were giving us mixed signals kind of thing.
Yeah, but he's deflecting. He doesn't give two shits about us. He's just glad we're doing his work and we're we're, you know, he's just glad we're not dead so we can do something else that's stupid.
Well, here's the thing, though, guys. You know, I gotta tell you, like, I'm having two you know, kind of opposite thoughts here at once. Number one, yeah, this shit's dangerous, but you know, if we're getting paid well, I still get to drive. I guarantee this is a little bit more exciting than your guys' previous jobs. So if we're getting compensated, okay, that's our choice. You know, I'm okay with it. So far, so good. However, check this out. What if? And I say this kind of softly. You know, I'm like thinking, you know, just hypothetically, what if this whole thing is like some kind of ruse where this guy is some faction and it's not government, and maybe he's using us and we're getting duped, and this is some sort of, maybe these guys are some kind of interdimensional freaks, and you know, kind of like, you know, you guys ever see Death Wish 4, where Paul Kersey gets hired by the guy who he thinks is this rich newspaper publisher, and he hires him to go set the drug gangs against each other because he wants all the drug lords killed because they killed his, you know, daughter or whatever. And at the end, spoiler alert, you haven't seen Death Wish 4. At the end, it turns out that he... Death Wish 4.
Is that movie?
At the end, it turns out that the guy... Yeah, at the end, it turns out the guy was just pretending to be the newspaper publisher, and he was a competing drug kingpin who was using the vigilante to take out his competition. So, you know, I'm just thinking about that. I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are about that. I mean,
I totally agree. Yeah. I totally agree with you. You know, a side note, did you see that they have the new trailer for the new Death Wish with Bruce Willis? I mean, it looks so dumb. Okay, never mind. That's here nor there. But anyway, no, if you've seen like Buffy or X-Files, you can't trust any one of these companies. You know, they always think, oh, we're doing it for the greater good. Well, most of the time they got some back ass side thing that they're really doing that's really going to fuck us over. So we have to be careful.
Well, no, I mean, I agree, right? Like, but I mean, Jack, like, is this like chemtrail shit? Like, I mean, at some point, right? So they can bend. We're in a fucking pocket dimension, right? So they can bend space. So shit is obviously not completely on the level, because this shouldn't be possible based on what I know on fucking science. I mean, what shit? Look, I mean, I don't know. Like, if they're gonna keep our family safe, they're kind of keeping us safe, even though they're putting us in harm's way. But like, that's like, we made that choice, right? Like, I mean, we went in with eyes open. It's not like, you know, some weird fucking...
Well, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to change anything. I'm just, you know, almost putting this out there as an intellectual, you know, just food for thought. We keep an open mind about that as this goes on. That's all. Yeah. So far so good. So far so good in terms of keeping everybody safe. But this is some weird shit, man.
Yeah. You know? Well, and let's call it what it really is. Our families are safe. We have a little bit of help. We're not really safe.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely in harm's way. I mean, we're we're on the edge of things here.
Yeah. But I love that idea, Jack, of we need to gear up. We need to get some experience in firearms and hand-to-hand combat, because I mean, obviously, look at me. I need that help. I've been getting lucky as of late, but you know, before, you know, I could, you know, trip over a rock and, you know, break an arm, you know. So it's like, I need that help. So I mean, if we're gonna do this, we have to go in a little more prepared than we actually are. And like you said, we can prepare all day, but the execution has to be there too. So we need to train to get to that execution.
So do you think maybe we should like come back here for a little bit and like fucking train and work out here? Like, you know, see if we get on some kind of regimen or some shit?
Well, you know, I'm sure they got chicks here. I'm sure they got, they probably got a bar here. I mean, what else do we need, right? So I suppose we could hang out and explore what they got in this little town.
I mean,
if he can get us, I mean,
go ahead.
If, you know, I miss the shooting range. I enjoy going to the shooting range. And you know what? Hell, I miss sparring with a wrestling partner, and you know, if they can hook me up with some of that stuff here, I'll get the guns will be right. You know, not only the shooting guns, but the bandana jack guns will be back, and I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
You gotta show me how to do the bandana hammer. I mean, come on.
I can train you.
Sweet.
But I'm out of shape myself. I got to get back in the swing of things too. But if they could hook me up with a training, you know, a ring and a boxing equipment and all that stuff I used to do, hell, I'll do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, assume they're going to pay us either way at the other place, right? I mean, the job itself is just a cover anyhow. So, I mean, we could just kind of hang here for a little while. I mean, just like we're not that far from home. I mean, we could just go back and like check on things and, you know, make sure the bills are paid and the lawn is watered and all that shit.
Yeah, well, now that we have this undercover trucking company as our background, we can come, you know, we can go and, you know, be gone for days on end, because that's what truckers do. They're gone for a while, they come back for a little bit, and then they're out again. So
yeah, for sure. That's not too bad. And like you guys said, we got to keep our eyes open. We should probably be planning for the future, right? I mean, they're giving us a little bit of a slush fund. I mean, they didn't say, you know, I mean, sure, it's for if they can't get help to us, but, you know, there's no saying that we couldn't slide a little bit of that money out and put it away for, you know, for a rainy day, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Or just request that shit when we're on
theoretically would be making money from your YouTube channel as well for Ghost Facers. So
have we monetized that after the Sister Right incident?
I guess you didn't say that. I assume at some point you would have ads and whatever pay-per-click shit installed so that when people are watching videos, you have to watch those 6-second videos that you have to click skip.
Yeah, everything happens so fast. I don't know. I mean, if not, then we'd probably think about it maybe over the week that we're going to be home then, and you know, be like, shit, we've got 100,000 views. Like, why are we not making any money on this thing?
Yeah,
I guess
for the stuff we have now.
Yeah, you hadn't really done any like it made some rounds. So yeah, you definitely got. Well, I'm going to say it's probably under 100,000. It's probably like 20, 30,000 views, like pretty hot for, like, you've been putting videos up, so you had some subscribers and stuff. So I'd say it's probably 20, 30,000 on the Sister Right, which was like, but a lot of it's also, oh, what a bunch of hokey bullshit. These guys are scams, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's also that helps kind of fuel it as well a little bit. So, you kind of have the good and the bad. People that are like, holy shit, that's crazy. You know, diehard fans, along with haters, come out of the woodwork as well. So, but, you know, it's definitely more views than any of your previous stuff. And it kind of made the rounds in like the creepy pasta type, you know, no sleep Reddit type stuff, or, you know, scary time tales, whatever.
Okay. All right. What do we want to call him back before we leave that and tell him what we're thinking here, as far as, you know, trying to like set up some sort of a training regimen, or we just want to drop him a postcard? I mean, we're here already, right? I mean, if he's around, it's. Didn't take
we
him
could
that
probably
long to
just-
get here.
Well,
Yeah, we could probably just tell the waitress, and she probably could just get the word out to him.
yeah, that's fine.
I think we can probably, yeah, or we could just send him a card or whatever. I mean, we got to think about what it is. I don't think we should talk to him now because we got to kind of think about what it is we want to do specifically. You know.
All right,
And I
that's
think
fair.
if we get that figured out, we can just write them.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a
But,
couple of days
yeah.
for ourselves first before we get into it?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I definitely need to decompress a little bit.
Definitely. Got to go home and read my Beavis and Butthead comics.
Nice.
All right, Randy, are you crashing with me still? I mean, I know obviously you want to kind of check in with your mom. I guess maybe see what the status of your place is, or
Yeah, no, I'll stay at my mom's. I'll just I'll catch up with her. I haven't seen her for a bit. Why don't you hang out with your mom? Just say hello. Just take your everybody. I think all of us we've seen enough of each other. Not that I don't love you guys, but fuck you guys. Go off and get some rest, and we'll see you. In
and Randy. And Randy, you should ask and see if this guy can send you replacements for your collectible figurines.
No shit. Yeah, that's right. I had my list too. I wrote it all down. I'll send it to him. I'll put it on a postcard. I'll make a digital card with a couple of birds hanging out at them. Nah, I probably shouldn't do that. But fuck that guy.
Hey, can you replace all of these action figures? Also, fuck you. Please do me a favor.
The love-hate relationship I have with him.
Yeah.
all right. So I guess we finish eating. We'll kill a pot of coffee, and I guess Jack is driving. I guess so we'll swing by Randy's place, drop him off, and then head back to our collective places.
Okay.
What time of the day are we looking at?
Evening, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I don't remember what season it is right now. I think it's summer.
I don't remember. We really need to start a fucking wiki. Something else for
I
me.
know. We need like a calendar, or, moon cycles.
I check in with my mom, but I also because I'm curious. I go to the one local video store that's actually open, and I rent Death Wish 4 and I watch it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It definitely, he was definitely a drug dealer all along.
Damn. Mind blown.
Yep.
Talk about twists.
Yep. That's my mental training for what's coming ahead.
So I guess when we get back to the house, I just head in, give Brett a bro hug, or give Jack a bro hug, and kind of head into the house, cautiously head in, crack the door, kind of take a peek, flip the light on, look around, kind of I'll do a slow walk around the condo or the apartment or whatever before settling in.
Sure. Nothing seems disturbed that you know of.
Okay. Cool.
And I guess I'll do the same. I guess.
Okay. Yeah, everything checks out to you, at least.
Nice. I go to my house. I find my mom, give her a big hug, and just kind of chit chat with her about what's been going on lately.
Okay. Yeah, she's very upset. She made meatloaf twice since you weren't there.
Damn it. Well, at least hopefully you left the leftovers. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm good for that.
But the thing is, Randy, I enjoy you eating my meatloaf more than I enjoy eating my meatloaf. It's not the same if you're not eating it.
That is true. I think I'm the only one that likes. Wait a minute. No, that's cool. I mean,
make a sandwich or something. Jeez, it's in the freezer. Just defrost it first. Don't eat it frozen like that one time. That was weird.
Well, you know what? It's food, Mom, so you know I'm going to eat it. It doesn't matter if it's frozen or not. I mean, it just takes me a little bit more to digest it. That's all.
All right. Well, I got all this place cleaned up finally after all that hullabaloo, so everything's all
Wait a
back
minute.
to
I thought
normal.
I thought I sent a cleaning crew to help you out.
I don't like them touching my things. I mean, they clean.
I don't like
I
them
let
touching
them
my
clean,
things either,
clean.
but-
Like they vacuum, but I had to move everything else around.
Oh, okay. But
And I even got
you
you
didn't
this.
touch all.
I
But you
got you
didn't
this from the
touch all
comic
my
shop.
Generation 1 Transformers, though, right? You didn't touch those, right?
You know I'd never touch. You know I'd never touch
Okay.
any of your action figures.
Good.
But I
Good,
did
good,
get you
good,
this.
'cause
It's a Boba Fett action figure from the comic book store. Since all yours got ruined, I thought this would be a nice present for when you came back.
Oh, Mom. Your accent changed a little bit, but I still love you. You're great.
It was all the stress.
I'm glad you grabbed that for me. That's awesome.
I
And
have
don't
a
worry
cold,
about getting
so
it.
my voice isn't as high today.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, something's going on. But no, you don't have to. Don't worry about getting anything else. I've got insurance taking care of that. So you don't have to worry about getting me anything else. It'll get taken care of.
All right. Well, you know I worry about you.
I know you do, Ma. I know you do. But this new job has really just got me beat. I just have to go. I have to get some rest. But maybe we can do some Mexican breakfast tomorrow morning. Come on, Mexican breakfast.
All right. Huevos rancheros.
Oh my God, you're the best. Go downstairs and there's a futon in a bed, and I don't even reach the bed. I just plop on the futon face first and fall asleep.
All right. Erin, you at some point, I'm assuming, will check emails.
I'd probably
anyone would check emails.
Call my mom first to check
Okay.
the house to make sure the house is okay, and then it has been probably like a week, at least a couple of days since I checked in with her. So he would. I mean, he's happy that Edward said everything was safe, but I haven't been over, I haven't called, so I would probably call. I'd get her, dial her on the phone, boot the computer up, grab a beer out of the fridge. Kind of like doing 4 things all at once.
Yep. Yeah, she said everything's good. Things have been going fine. She misses you, not having you around, traveling so much. It really sucks, but you got to do what you got to do for work.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more stable than the bar, and the pay's a little better. Yeah, like a manager, it's pretty cool, Mom.
I'm always proud of you, honey.
Well, I appreciate that, Mom. I know it's been kind of hard because I haven't been around, but I'll be over this weekend. We'll do a whole thing. I'll come over in the afternoon, and I'll help you make dinner. It'll be a whole thing.
Now that sounds great. I'll get some stuff in. We'll make a day of it.
All right, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you're doing good.
All right, bye, honey.
All right, see you later.
Uh,
Plops down in the chair and clicks the mouse, starts scrolling through stuff.
All right. You have an email from William Strathford. Says he did some of the research that you talked about and found some interesting information in the archives. He could get into more details, but he found out he did find references to almost a spirit that a few Native American tribes in the kind of Great Lakes region not really worshipped. I mean, they didn't really. I mean, there had multiple spirits, there were different nature spirits. This particular one seemed to be associated with sort of omens or warnings when something bad was potentially going to happen. And depending on, it's a whole thing. I can get into a whole thing, but needless to say, sometimes it's not clear whether obeying the warning necessarily always worked out better than disobeying it, but that's sort of the mythology around that figure. I have some more information. Happy to chat. Set up a time with my admin, and we can chat.
Okay, so he sits back in the chair because he hadn't really, with all the other things going on, hadn't really considered it, and kind of makes sense in the overall scheme of that sort of stuff, right? So like the information is there, and it's however you choose to go about it. It's not good, it's not bad, whether you do the thing or don't do the thing. So he's kind of like, that sort of makes sense, I guess. So he'll tap out a quick message back like, thanks for getting back to me. I appreciate your time. I'm going to be off for a couple of days. Let's shoot for, Tuesday at, 9 p.m. Eastern or, 10 p.m. Eastern,
Okay.
or whatever works best for you. We can do Skype or whatever. And, I'd be interested to see what other information that you have. It's, very interesting, appreciate your time, regardless.
Okay.
Cool. And then he will just he'll hang for maybe another half hour, 45 minutes. He'll, absently watch the news, maybe flip through the channels a little bit, and then just, crash out.
Okay.
And Jack goes in there. He's pretty damn exhausted too. He grabs a beer. Honestly, he's just going to bed, man.
All right.
He just kind of plops in there. Doesn't even read anything. Just exhausted, goes to sleep.
Okay. Yep. You crash out. It's exhausting. It's been a crazy couple of days, almost a week.
Yeah, I think almost a week.
Yeah.
That and Jack probably did all the driving since it was his rig.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he's driving across several states.
Boring states.
Oh, God, yeah. That would take the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that road. It's literally just fucking 8-foot medians on both sides, driving through a concrete fucking tunnel, basically, with no roof. I hate that road.
Always under construction.
Yeah, it's mind-numbing. All right, so I take it your goal is to kind of R&R, regain stability type deal.
Hell yeah. Dinner with mom, that's a big one.
So yeah, it would probably take, I would say it'd take, at least 4 or 5 days probably of whatever it is you're doing. So you can kind of describe what your plan is to, chill out and not think about horrific other dimensional beings. As hard as that would possibly be to do, finding out that there are other dimensional beings. So
Erin would crash hard into the next day. Gets up maybe about 10. Puts on a half a pot of Bird's coffee because Bird's coffee's awesome. So so he'll do that. He pops on some some Wynton Marsalis, some some easy jazz, some Duke Ellington, that kind of shit. And he pays his bills, he vacuums, cleans the house because it's been a week or whatever. So he's just doing mundane kind of shit around the house. He's just completely trying to relax to the music and just sort of get his mind off of stuff. At some point he jumps on the computer and shoots Randy an email because he'll have checked the Ghostface or stuff and so man, we gotta monetize this shit. I don't know how to do it, but we gotta get some ads and stuff up here, blah blah blah. Call me later. I'm gonna be just around doing shit around the house. I gotta go grocery shopping or whatever. Click send. And yeah, that's pretty much his next day. Maybe 2 days. He might go over to Jack's house and I don't know, watch a movie or did whatever Jack wants to do, just go over and like have some beers and be like, wow, that was fucked up, right? Yeah, it was fucked up.
All right.
Well, Jack gets up pretty early, and he has all his bills and shit like on auto pay, like every single one. So he doesn't do shit. It's just coming right out of his account, and he hits the bag. He's like, you know what? He likes to work his aggression out. He's been wanting to get back in shape, have a more hardcore.
Oh, you're still there?
Oh, I was wondering if that was me.
No, I think Brett died.
So he
Brett.
hit that bag. So he.
Oh, you completely faded out.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So you said he liked to work his aggressions out. He was working on the heavy bag, and then you just kind of faded away.
Okay, yeah. So he's got the heavy bag, and he's also got like the speed bag. So he hits that, working out, and he doesn't. Jack doesn't have really a family at all. He likes hanging out when Erin comes over and stuff, but he's also just spending a bunch of time by himself. He's going, he's going to the park, he's going into the woods, he's just hanging out and being by himself, and that helps him out a lot.
So let me interject. I may cut this out later. So Brett's never played an RPG before, but intuitively went to the regular player character of, I'm an orphan, I have no family, I try to murder everything. It's like an instinct.
And I go off on my own. I go by myself mysteriously into the woods to skulk.
It's awesome.
What is that some kind of like RPG Jungian archetype or something like that, or
it's like every RPG player ever.
Yeah, it's always an orphan. Their family was either killed or like they never knew them, and it's always, and they're like, I go off on my own. I don't have many friends. It's like it's like
I'm chaotic. I do what I want.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm no nonsense. I grew up on the streets. Like, yeah, it's a very common, even in like D&D, right? Like where it doesn't matter the setting, just replace, whatever modern day thing is with a long sword and, I don't know, an elven forest.
Well, again, man, I do like the Death Wish movies, so I can't say it's too far away from that archetype either.
It's true. There could be a hell of a lot of Death Wish. That's a pretty common D&D stereotype, actually. Or archetype is loner with a cause to go vigilante justice. That's what adventurers are. They're vigilante justice. So
pretty much,
it works out.
All right, Randy, what are you up to?
So Randy basically is kind of going through all of his nerd stuff in the basement and putting everything back in order. He goes through his comic books again, the ones that aren't missing, and puts them in alphabetical order, but also in order of company and release date, stuff like that. And goes on a lot of chat rooms to talk about like the newest nerdy thing like Game of Thrones or new comic book movies and stuff like that. But he instead of using the speed bag, he uses the feed bag. The Mexican breakfast. He says Mexican breakfast, but his mom knows that it's noon by the time he wakes up. So then they have it then, and then for some reason he has what he calls his second lunch, kind of like a second breakfast thing, and he for the first time in his whole life decides he's gonna have a salad. Because he's like, if I'm gonna start this training with these guys, and obviously they got more streetwise, they're probably a little bit better at the fighting anything than I am. I want to do the best I can. So I like lightly pick around a salad and like go, ugh, and like put in a little more cheese than I'm supposed to, but I still, kind of choke it down, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm good here, and
Your mom sees you eating the salad and like jaw drops. And she's like, Randy, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, Ma, I just, you're not getting any younger, and neither am I, and I just want to be here for a couple more years. So, every once in a while you're going to see me eating some greens.
Did your friends make fun of you? Because I'll tell them a thing or two.
Well, Mom, have you been around me? That's what friends and people have ever been around me have ever done.
Yeah, but that never made you eat a salad before.
Yeah, well, times change, Ma. It's not 1983 anymore, so.
Well, I don't like it.
Well, get used to it, because it's the new me, Ma.
We'll see. You're going to be back to meatloaf and second Mexican breakfast soon enough.
Hey, who says I won't do that anyway? But hey, I can have some cucumber while I'm at it, at least.
All right. Well, if you want me to get you something from the store, you better let me know.
And he's like, okay, Ma. And he starts walking away and mumbling to himself, God, she's kind of an enabler.
I heard that, Randy Anders.
Not far from the truth, Ma. And he walks down his basement, shuts the door.
All right, so that I don't know if
also I get back to Erin. I get back to Erin on that whole website thing, and I have this 3-page synopsis of what we're gonna do, because I know exactly. I've been in enough YouTube videos where I know all the lingo and stuff like that, and I just said to him, I say, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna monetize it. We're gonna make that money.
Erin probably
if it's small or not.
Yeah, Erin probably reads the first 2 paragraphs and then just starts to scroll, and then it's whatever. That's Randy's thing.
Yeah, and Randy as a cruel joke to Erin puts a couple of wingdings in between it just to see if he'll even notice that they're there.
He doesn't.
All right. Yeah, I think between missions, your stability goes back to full as long as you have uninterrupted, non-crazy time. So you've earned back your stability.
Would we get our other pools back too, generally? Because, I think after 24 hours, you can refresh 3. So after
general is back, and health is back unless someone has a particularly grievous wound. I don't think anyone was severely wounded.
I don't think anybody got shot or anything. It was close.
Yeah, so I think you're okay. Even if it was a couple points or something, that's totally fine. Stability will come back, so you should be good there. Yeah, all of your other pools were fresh.
All right, cool.
Cool. So this means I don't have to keep track of anything again.
Currently, no.
All right, good. Excellent.
It's not like you were going to do it anyway.
That's probably true, too.
You're probably right. Yeah.
That's all right. John will keep track of it on your sheet for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll have 4 sheets out at one time, plus the notes.
Here's mine. I just assume if someone hasn't, by the way, might want to I assume Brett hasn't spent points on things, so you might.
I'm going to go through Brett's sheet, and then I'm going to go through the book and see how many XP we've been awarded, and then see what needs tweaking.
No,
that might be good.
I've definitely spent. I spent last time some stuff.
Okay.
I spent last time some stuff.
Or he'll be like, oh shit, you took 3 points in that? I don't know.
But we have all that back now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is more the spent. No. I'm talking about spending the experience points to get more skills and stuff.
Oh, I get you. Okay.
Right. I didn't know if you'd spent experience that you earned to get more shooting, for instance, or get more a skill that you didn't have and stuff like that?
No, I haven't done that. No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. So if John can tally that up, at least you'll have a set of points that you can invest.
Cool.
I can even bring your sheet to Necro. Not to get too far afield with this, and I'll edit this out. But I could bring your sheet to Necro. I could bring the book, and we can go through it if you want to see what individual things are, and maybe pick some skills, get you up to date to where we are.
Well, I'm sure we'll have some geek out time like that, so might as well.
All right, cool.
What? Geeky shit happening at Necronomicon? Never. That's never happened.
All right, cool. Are we just going to assume that, a week passes or so I have dinner with my mom and Randy gets the site going, and I guess I would text the both of them, like group text, like, hey, I'll throw a postcard in the mail. Like, what do we want to do specifically, in regards to training stuff? Like, we want to shoot. Do we want to box? Well, you want to talking about doing some wrestling stuff. Text me over whatever you guys want to include, and I'll throw a postcard in the mail.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to respond right away with I definitely want to get back to the shooting range, and I'd like to train with, because all I know how to shoot is like your standard rifles and pistols kind of thing. So I'd like to work with that, but I want to learn more of the fucking fully automatic weapon shit,
Okay.
And I'd also like, he mentioned, more esoteric shit. I just want to know what he, in more detail, maybe what he's talking about, and I'd be interested in training some of that. And definitely, if I can get a ring, if he's got a gym with a fucking little ring and some boxing shit, man, I'm all over that.
Yeah, they definitely have access to, training facilities. As needed, depending on what you're interested in. What I'm going to do, I think, is I don't know, how do I make a note of this? John, edit this out. I'm going to not share this book with you of the Esoterrorists, which is the organized the fear itself based on a group of people trying to stop cults from doing horrible shit. So there's some additional skills that you could pick up if you wanted specific skills from it that are much, much more specific analysis stuff. Like, for instance, ballistics, if you're interested in looking at, bullet entries and matching bullet pattern or bullet fragments to a gun or whatever. There's forensic entomology, there's document analysis, there's forensic psychology.
I want to do psychic attacks.
There is magic for sure. Psychic attacks actually requires you to be psychic. Unfortunately, I don't think you have that gift, or else I guess it could manifest. Yeah, there's definitely skills, but then there's also there is, for lack of a better word, magic. So there is occult stuff and magic that can be learned. Whether they let you learn it at a given point in time based on how well they know you and how much you've done is a good question, but there certainly are, for instance, some manner of non-physical reality stuff. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah, I basically write and I say I want a boxing trainer, and I want somebody to help me out at the range.
Okay.
So he texts back, cool. I will drop a postcard and see how soon we can set this up, and how this affects our day jobs. Like I said, I assume that they're just paying us because it's a cover for the organization. So I think we're getting paid either way. But just to confirm that, like, we don't have to show up at work every day.
No, you really only need to show up when they like want
Call
you
us or
to
something.
do things, basically. Like,
Okay.
you're basically mission based. So they pay you otherwise, but they you get paid, but you don't have to basically like be there all the time. You can go in if you wanted, I'm sure. Like that, there's no problem with it. But yeah, you don't technically have to be there.
So we show up for work and they're like, "Oh, you're here today. Sure. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, they're
Find
like,
something for you to do."
yeah, they're like, fuck, I don't know. Go organize some of the. There's, paperwork to match up the loads to what was actually delivered. All right. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, so they're kind of
So
like,
we're going there.
here's some paperwork, here's some, yeah, like that sort of stuff that you can do, and like, yeah, match our, we have some inventory to rectify against the logs. That would be good. Or if you just want to carry stuff.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, but I think Erin would probably do that at least off and on, since his other skill is bartender. So like he's again trying to plan ahead a little bit. So he's thinking like, yeah, if I go in, I might be able to like pick up some useful skills, sort of thing. Like in the couple of days that he's off, it's like, wow, we don't really have to go to work. Like this is cool, but I can only kind of like hang around my house so much. So like, he might like go in and just kind of like walk around, like just kind of see what everybody's doing, and
Yeah. I
see what he
mean,
can pick
there's
up.
definitely folks that are happy to have you help do some work, but yeah, they have to be like, I guess you could probably do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're technically like manager levels,
Yeah.
so it's probably more. If you want to just carry stuff, you can, but it's probably more likely like data entry and like, log these files, make sure these match what was entered, that sort of stuff, just to like do paperwork essentially that needs done and they don't want to do. They don't want to do if you're going to volunteer to do it. So,
All right, cool.
all right. I'm going to take 1 second to go get some water because this computer is really hot and I feel like I'm on fire. So I need something cold.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Cool. So I guess I'll continue to text me like, all right, I fucking sent him a postcard. So literally, like, you guys want to like, we're gonna spar together, because that seems kind of like weird, right? I mean, like Randy probably kick everybody's ass now. Like he's the one with the most experience these days. Beep.
Hey, I got lucky a couple of times, but I don't know, I'm just glad to be able to do something, because fuck these guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand, like, they're, they don't know any better because they're being controlled by higher beings and shit. But like, man, like that one dude, man, if I ever see that other dude again, man, I hope it turns out different, because I want to fucking pummel that guy.
Well, maybe you guys can, be my opponent in the ring. I can try out some of the bandana slammer on you. I can try out the Jack the gyro jack windmill maneuver. You know, some of my signature moves, if you guys don't mind.
That sounds like Randy's department to me. I don't. None of that sounds good at all.
Yeah, I watched a couple of behind the scenes. I can do. You know, you can do me a couple of hip tosses. I can land pretty good. I still got a lot of padding, so you know it won't hurt as bad.
Okay, man, but this is the real shit. You know, everyone thinks this stuff is fake, but yeah, that's the real fucking shit.
Oh, I seen it live. It hurts. I'm sure. I mean, I've never done it before, but I'm sure it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's fake in that, you know, we do things to make the stuff not work. But if you like don't do those things, dude, it's the real shit. You know?
Yeah. I remember I seen one guy fly out of the ring, and he was trying to catch himself on the outside wall, and he's trying to catch it with his feet. He slipped, hit his jaw, almost cut it, almost bit his own tongue off. Man, it was horrific.
Yeah, dude. I think that was Billy Blaze, Bodkins that did that.
That's right. And the Big Dongers. Oh man, those guys were the best. Man, that tag team was the best.
What the fuck comes up with these names?
Well, it's just like anything, Aaron. It's like, you know, so many decades of wrestling. You know, you run out of stuff. You gotta. I mean, no one's as cool as Jack, you know. So you know, you run into some bad names.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, some of those sound pretty bad.
Well, you know, the fans like it. You got to get things that people relate to. You know.
That's right. Who doesn't relate to the Ding Dongers? I mean, really, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
How about and you know, Nick Steele, he's in the Steelworkers Union.
That's right.
Well, see, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, Nick Steele, Bobby Girder. Yeah, that's just great. I mean, just so many good teams from back in the day. I mean, you can't count them on your. I mean, they're so great.
I guess I missed out on most of that stuff.
Yeah, you must have.
Oh, hold on. Dad's back.
All right.
Quit talking about him. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Fuck. So hot in here.
You live in Tampa, Florida. I don't feel bad for you.
You should. It's the worst.
Yeah.
For 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
At least 4, maybe 5. 7 months are doable to fantastic. There's 1 month that's fucking great. Sometimes 2.
January.
Yeah, January is like, I literally think this is why I live here. That's it. December sometimes a little into February. Then it gets okay. But then say May through September, you want to die because it's 1 billion degrees and 100% humidity.
Sweet.
It's a nightmare. Yeah, it sucks. All right. Where are we?
We sent Edward. I sent Edward a postcard to request shooting, training, some esoteric training, and have a availability for boxing ring, wrestling, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Krav Maga guy or like a fucking jiu-jitsu guy or something to kind of like, get that in close stuff of like wrestle. Like, I'm not gonna wrestle. Like, I'm not that big, but like, something good for like a little wiry guy that I would be in for.
Yeah, they do have. He can basically hook you up with what you're looking for. Mechanically speaking, though, it's going to require point spends.
Yeah.
But you can get access to those things. So that's easy enough. Basically, it just said, let him know what times within reason that you want it to be done. He gives you it may not be him directly when you send the postcard. You can just put a postcard, or you can stop in the diner and say, like, we'll be there from whatever, noon to 4, and they'll have someone there. He said that he'll make a facility available in the town.
Okay. So after I got the postcard back, I would let those guys know and then be like, hey, do we want to inquire about like staying there like during the week? Like you just want to drive back and forth, or like it's not that far?
No. I mean, I guess we should. If you're training and stuff, it'd be nice to maybe see what kind of accommodations they have. Not like all week, but yeah, if we want to crash at night, man, it probably would be good if we could stay there, see what they got.
Yeah, we gotta live. We gotta breathe it.
As far as you know, at least as far as Edward told you, you have access to rooms at the hotel anytime you want them.
Cool. All right.
At no fee, obviously.
Yeah. So I would drop a postcard back then, just confirm like, hey, we'll come up with the schedule. Just want to confirm that we can crash at the hotel. I thought you'd said that we could stay there if need be. Try to work out whatever is best for, your trainers and our personal schedules. Try to get everybody in together. Probably be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Says, sounds great. Mi casa es su casa. Just tell Natalie how many rooms you need when you get there, and she'll let you know. She'll give you. They may not be the most fancy of rooms, but they have everything you need, and they're quite comfortable. So you'll have access to that. And he basically gives directions to the gym facility is just basically around the block from the hotel. The firing range is kind of gives directions a little outside of the town part. So you can actually have like longer distances if you need it. Other than like 100 yards is usually the maximum in the city-ish type range would have, if that. So
sure. All right. Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? Like, do we want to do like a long weekends? You want to do like every other day? Like, we got to go more than like once a week, right? I mean, like Randy said, we got to live it, right? So we got to get in there and we got to get our hands dirty. Nothing? No opinions?
Do I literally hear crickets?
You do.
I believe so.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe work 2 days, take 2 days off, work 2 days, take 2 days off. I think that would probably be good. Yeah, especially right now, since we're not really that we're not that, I mean, Jack's got it, kind of used to it from before, but we're not.
Right. Yeah, I went in the other day. Like, I don't think they expected me to come in at all. Like, they were confused when I showed up.
Yeah, we could do that. I would recommend we can do a couple days heavy. And then I would take 1 day off, though, if we're doing 2.
Okay.
I would do like 2 and then just 1 day. And then, 1 day rest is good in between.
Cool. All right. So the next time we head over, I bring like a full 12-ounce bag of birds when we head over to the diner. And okay. I'm like, so I get this stuff at home, and I'm wondering like if we're gonna be here kind of like regular, if this is a sort of thing like maybe you could get on order. Like, it's really good. Like, you could order out of here, right? I mean you guys are like real people and everything, so
Yeah, at this point, it's, do I have a name for him? Let me check real quick.
Did you just ask if they were real people, or just say they're real people?
Who?
Yeah. I mean, well, the poodle skirt and everything, like it's weird dimensional thing. I'm just saying, like,
I could just see Erin just be like, "You're real people," and then like poke just to make sure.
Okay, hold on. This is the guy that was there the first time you showed up.
The soda jerk?
Yep. And he's like, sure can. Yeah, we can do that. Whatever you need. Just here, let me take a look. He writes it down. He's like, I'll make sure we get some, I'll make sure we get a supply. Don't want to let those customers down. And if it's really good, maybe that's just what we'll serve everybody.
Cool, sweet, thanks. And I look at his name tag. What's his name?
Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it. I mean, we're going to be here, quite a bit, so I appreciate it.
Oh, what's your name, friend?
Erin.
Erin, pleasure to meet you. If you ever need anything, let me know. And let me tell you, I make the best root beer float this side of the Mississippi.
Oh, I know. We've had him. Randy loves them. He turns around, he looks at Randy. There's like 3 of them on the table.
I'm dipping my fries in them and eating them.
You sure do. I will say.
One of those was Jack's.
What?
There's 3 sodas on the table. I turn around and I yell, one of those was Jack's.
Oh, God damn it, Randy.
I'm shoving fries in my mouth. Like, get your own.
God
like,
damn
Randy
it, well, you know what? Yeah, well, you know what? He's going to work that out in the fucking ring today, I'll tell you what.
Erin just
So
starts
let him fucking enjoy that.
Yeah, what happened to these? What happened to the salads?
Well, he's having them in between.
Oh, okay.
He's having, yeah. That'll be the next thing he has after the 3 root beers and the fries.
Yeah. So he'll leave.
He read that on. He read that on Nutrisystem. You can have as much salad as you want. He kind of like took it the wrong way. So.
Look at it as you can eat as much as you want if you eat a salad.
Yeah.
So
when
Erin,
you eat a salad, you can then eat. Yeah.
Yeah. Erin leave like 20 on the counter for him before he walks away, just for get him the hook up.
All right. He's like, oh, this is too much of a tip.
No. You take care of me, I'll take care of you.
All right. Well, if there's everything else you need, you let old Glenn know.
When he says that, he stops and he like slowly turns around. He goes back over to the bar and he's like, and he leans in like, kind of conspiratorially, and he's like, I mean, like, so you work for the company, but like, do you just work here, or like you go out and do stuff?
He gives you a really weird look. What do you mean, stuff?
Well, it's probably best not to go into specifics. Probably.
Oh, I mean, I enjoy the picture show, and me and my lady, we go out to dinner sometime. Not here, because I mean, I eat all these burgers all the time. I get a little sick of those. But I mean, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Nope,
I mean, they have a great theater down the way. Best popcorn in town. Well, only popcorn in town, but it's pretty good anyway.
Okay. I will have to check it out. I mean, Randy's going on a diet and all, but like, if you're gonna go catch a movie, you gotta have popcorn, right?
That's right.
Thanks. Cool.
Yeah. See you later, friend.
He like spins and like gets back over to the table real quick. It's like, I don't think these people leave here, guys. I mean, he didn't have any idea what I was talking. I asked him if like he did work for the company, and he like didn't have any idea what I was talking about.
It's probably like Pleasantville or something like that. They're all just living back. You know what would be cool? We could probably see old movies here, like when they first came out.
Like Death Wish 1?
Yeah.
He gives Jack a fist bump. He's like, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Randy just shakes his head. I'm like, oh my God.
That was awesome.
That's pretty good.
So I guess do we have to wait for Edward to come in, or we like have like a set appointment time to like get over and like training montage kind of thing? Or
whenever you said you would be there, it's available. Training montage.
Okay.
Engage. You do whatever it is you're looking to do. Basically.
All right. Yep.
Yep. I'm training with Jack, and then all of a sudden I like realize that 3 root beer floats and some fries is a bad idea. And he goes in the corner, throws up, wipes his face, and is like, and then goes back and tries to do it again.
Erin just cringes.
Well, do we have a trainer in there with us, or what's the?
Yeah. Are you doing? If it's the hand-to-hand, there's basically it's essentially like, at least at this point, like an MMA fighter, basically type, hand-to-hand kind of combat guy, pretty ripped. As far as the wrestling, there is like, he did find someone who's more of like, not like professional wrestling though, like wrestling, like Greco-Roman high school wrestling type. And so that's
okay, man. That's fine, because I eat guys like that for breakfast. So, he can pretty much be like my, when I was talking about a partner, I was really meaning more some guy I could just beat the fuck up on, try out all my, what was it called? The,
bandana hammer?
No, the gyro jack windmill.
Oh.
Yeah. Every time the regular wrestler does something, I kind of look at Erin and I'm like, what? And then every time Bandana Jack does something, I'm like, yeah! I'm like all excited about
it. I turn around to look, and the MMA guy like puts me in a fucking sleeper, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, and he is like, he's super ripped and a real hard ass. But he's, that basically can go through hand-to-hand combat. How do you do this? How would I do that? What weight training should I do to not be a complete pathetic idiot in combat?
Yeah,
I think that'd be me and Randy, right? Like Jack's fooling around in the ring, and he's got like me and Randy squared off. Randy's probably got 50 pounds at least on me, probably a couple inches.
Yeah. I go in to try to like grapple you because I know I don't have like the speed, so I like try to grapple you and like take you to the ground, because if I have to chase you, and then I get too winded.
I start to run around. The guy's like, "No, stand your ground." I'm like, "Fuck!" And then you reach in, so you've got the reach, and you're like fucking bear hugging and shit. And I'm like, "Stop!"
I feel like I should make you guys like roll this.
That would be. Hey, I'd be up for it.
We could do it. Shit.
All right, roll off some scufflings. This is going to be a scuffling contest, though, so it's whoever fails first. And you have to use your real scuffling pool. It won't count against you. Like, oh, I'm out of scuffling for the next. But you have your pool at your disposal.
All right. So Randy or Erin will spend 1 right off the bat. I got a 3.
Nice.
Wow. You did not win.
So it was just like I said, he just grabs me.
Unless his athletics is a 4, though, or an 8, I believe you actually have a 3 to hit. So that might succeed.
Yeah, because my athletics is only a 3 right now. Because I've been slowly putting stuff.
So I did get him.
Your target hit is actually a 3 for anyone with a less than 8 athletics. So you did hit.
Nice.
So he tries to grab me, and I kind of like slide around a little bit and like try to get around him, but he's taller than I am.
Nice. Yeah. So it's funny because he's being weirdly cocky, even though he has no reason to be. So I'm not going to spend any point. I'm not going to spend any of my scuffling points right now. I'm just going to see what happens.
All right.
I rolled a 6. I can't believe it.
You go in to really just take him down quick, but it looks like, at least as far as Aaron could tell, he was ready for him.
All right, so we roll again because we both succeeded?
Correct.
All right, so he just like shrugs me off and like drops me on the ground. So now I'm kind of like on the floor, so like I launch myself at his waist. I got a 4, natural.
Oh, nice.
All right.
All right. Again, he's still a little too cocky from just letting you fall on the floor, so he'll see if he can. What he's going to do, I'm going to say it before it hasn't or happens or doesn't happen. I'll give 2 scenarios. So the first scenario is he jumps at my waist, and I just kind of jump in the air just a little bit and kind of land and sit on him. Or if he does succeed, I'll just say like I for some reason like cross up my legs on stupid accident, and he just like almost like full weight into me, takes me down. Yeah, exactly. Just spears me to the ground. That's what I was trying to think of. Yep, a 2. You got me.
So he does. So Aaron just like jumps up at him and is surprised at how easily or Randy kind of like stumbles or whatever, and like they both hit the ground, and then he's like, "Oh fuck, are you okay? Oh shit, you all right?" And the guy's screaming, "Finish him! Finish!"
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, he's like, if you guys want to stop grab assing and maybe try for once, because you guys didn't actually burn any points, so it was kind of like not that. Not, I mean, you won, but like it wasn't like you guys were really like all out, balls to the wall. He's like, I guess that's a good takedown, but like you're gonna have to try harder than that. He's like, come at me, bro.
So Aaron like kind of like warily stands up, and he's kind of like in a crouch, and he looks at the guy, and he's thinking back to the guy that he took down that Jack executed. He's like, I got that motherfucker. He's like, all right, so I'm gonna spend my other 2. Gives me a 5, and I fucking launch myself at him.
All right,
nice.
He's let's see what he goes.
All right, I have 3 left. So
no, he's going after the MMA guy.
No, I went after the.
Oh, he's going after him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going after the dude. Nice.
Well, he said like bring it. Like you
yeah,
guys are fucking.
I did not understand that.
Playing tiddlywinks over there, fucking around. Like he doesn't realize you guys don't actually have like a ton of fighting.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Wait a minute. How are you going after the guy, John?
So I stood up because he's like, well, come at me. So I stood up kind of like half crouch and just like fucking launch myself at him. Because he doesn't
but
like.
Where are you launching him though? I want to know.
I guess probably like same thing to you, like because he was thinking about the guy that he took down in the alleyway. So he's like, all right, it worked on him, it worked on Randy. I'm just gonna fucking go right for the guy's midsection.
Nice. Well, just because I'm like, even though we were sparring and having a little bit of fun, he's pissing me off. So I'm gonna use my scuffling, and I'm gonna try to clothesline his head, try to clothesline his shoulders, so we both kind of take him down.
All right. I don't know. Oh, what are the rules for doubling up? There are rules for that.
I hit him because I got a 5. So I mean, I at least contacted.
Yeah, but we're gonna call it a contest instead of a fight, right? Where you're actually like hitting each other.
Yeah.
So so
I'm not saying I took him down.
You definitely didn't fail,
Right.
but it's first to fail that
Right.
loses. I just want to see because I think there's a like teaming up bonus. I think.
It seems like there should be. I don't recall.
Yeah, I feel like there should be. Sorry, I'm fucking book. Trying to get to the combat section. I don't know. Is it easier if it's just cooperation? One of them is undertaking the task directly, and the other. So what you do is like you decide who's the main person. You can spend however many points you want. The other person can then spend points as well to help your roll. Because it's kind of, I guess he could be fighting 2 people at once though, so he's going to roll against both of you.
Okay.
He's going to spend 2 points for Erin's attack. Got a 5.
Okay.
He's got plenty of scuffling, so he's going to spend another 2 for Randy. He got an 8. So now you guys are up to roll again.
What did you roll?
Oh, I didn't even roll anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was waiting to see what was going on.
You have to roll.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to spend my 3.
Okay.
That's a 5 together with the 3.
All right, so Erin like dives in, goes for the midsection, and it's not like hitting a brick wall, but he was ready for you and just basically like tightens up and moves into you as you hit him, and it's like smash. And then Randy comes into clothesline and he just easily ducks it. Just flat out ducks that.
All right, so now he's got me grappled, and now I don't know what to do because like I've got him, and he's clearly has the upper hand.
Yep.
So he just goes for like the jerk. He wants to like pull him off his feet.
Okay.
I rolled a fucking 6.
All right. He's got a little more. Randy, what do you want to do?
I'm going to try to come up from behind now that he's distracted, and I'm going to try to put him into a sleeper hold.
Okay.
Ah, shit. 2.
You run at him to do a sleeper hold, and he lets go of Erin long enough to basically do a like hip tackle to you. So like you're running toward him, and he literally just grabs you by the collar and throws you down on the mat and knocks the wind out of you. So you are like,
nice.
You're like,
yeah. Yeah. But I'm also like kind of like cool. Like I did something.
And Erin, he's got some more left, so he's gonna spend another 2. Although that has to hit you. So yeah, you're trying to go at him, but at this point he's vastly overpowering you, even though you weren't grappled at this point.
Sure. So like I go to like jerk him to like throw him, and he's moving that way to like dodge Randy and hip check him, so he kind of like spins me around. So my position is different than what it was.
Yeah.
All right. So he's gonna let go of the grapple, and he's just gonna try to punch him.
Wow. Okay.
I rolled a 1. That's awesome. So he lets go, and he kind of like leans back, and he throws the punch. And just like the guy just moves his head, and he just like way overextends, and he just throws me on the floor.
Yeah. And you're like, fuck.
And so I land next to Randy, and I just kind of look at him like, I guess we're gonna need a little bit more work.
Yeah. I'm like, that guy is good.
He's like a fucking MMA guy. He's like huge.
Yeah, he basically is like, yeah, he's like, boy, am I going to be able to teach you some things?
So Aaron just like rolls over onto his back and like puts his head back down on the mat and just like. The guy like puts his hand down and like fucking grabs me and like I think he's gonna like, kind of like pull me up and like fucking yanks me up off the floor.
Yeah, he's clearly vastly stronger than you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his athletics and scuffling are clearly make him harder to hit, as well.
Awesome.
Meanwhile, Bandana Jack's kind of giving his partner a little break there, and he's watching with a amused smirk on his face. These whole proceedings going on over here.
Stands to reason.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, for sure. All right. Oh, do you want to talk to, at some point, you need to talk to the professor as well. So.
Oh, yeah. So I guess maybe we're still in our week off. So, like, maybe after our 2 days of training, I guess before we go, do we want to, like, check in with Edward on the next thing? So, like, we're cooling down. Like, we're all just, like, all fucking beat up. Aaron's sore as shit. He's like, do you guys want to, like, grab Edward before we get out of here and see what's up, see what we need to plan, or do we want to, like, take some more time to kind of get things going here, or what do you guys thinking?
Well, as usual, I'm not looking to stay on too much later. So I think we should definitely, just maybe get a preview of what's upcoming attraction or something.
All right.
Okay. Do you want to get Edward to meet you at the diner?
Yeah, so we like, hit the showers, get cleaned up, go over, order some salads.
Yep. Definitely.
And, just let him know that we're kind of ready to talk, kind of like see, what sort of things are floating around, see how much time we have still. If we get a couple of more days in, obviously it's not putting us where we need to be, but it's, kind of putting us on the right road.
Yeah. He, after you're cleaned up, meet you at the diner. A little later in the evening, so Darlene's there instead of Glenn. She greets you, asks, what you're interested in. Edward's at the table already. He has coffee for all of you. He's like, sit on down, gentlemen. Glad to hear you were wanted to talk. I'm excited. We are ready to get things going.
Yeah, well, we figured we should touch base and kind of see where things are, and then see what sort of stuff is floating around, so we kind of know what we're looking at.
Well, it's funny, not funny, haha, funny, sad that you put it that way, because what's floating around are bodies. How do you like fishing?
I've done a little bit of fishing, I guess. It's okay. It's kind of boring.
No, I don't like putting the worms on the hooks.
You could use a artificial lure if you want, I guess. I don't know.
Randy gives like a double take to Jack, like, that's the one thing you won't do.
Yeah, I don't like killing the worms for no reason.
Well,
the gentle giant.
I'll tell you what. I'll cut to the chase. Turns out there's a small fishing village in Newfoundland. It's a little bit of a drive from here. It's a bit of a hike, and you might want to take a jacket if you decide that this is where you're going to go. Turns out there's been a number of disappearances and then reappearances of those people in the ocean. The weird part is, though, they didn't seem to drown. So something tells me something weird's happening. So it may be good for you guys to check out the situation before people start getting more suspicious.
So are they fishermen? You said they didn't. I mean, is this like a tangled in net sort of situation, cut apart by propellers? Like, what can you tell us about what's been going on other than people wound up dead?
We don't have a ton of specific information, but it does seem like they were potentially attacked in some way. Certainly with some sort of, I mean, it could be something. If it's something as simple as a serial killer, I know what you did last summer type with a hook hand or something, slashing people up, then certainly that's something best left to the police, and you can come on back. But something tells me it's quite weird for bodies to. It looks like they, at least as far as I've heard, that they die from blood loss and then end up in the water. It's almost unexplainable how you would die from blood loss, but also not have died in the water and then be dumped in the ocean that far out. So potentially the fishermen are at stake, but there's also, as the reason we're sending you, and not, first of all, it's very odd for multiple people in such a small village to disappear, but there's at least, local legends of creatures that come from the ocean to take fishermen away. Of course, it sparked some interest, and people are saying, "Oh, the curse is back," and things of that nature. So if it is some sort of otherworldly entity, of course, I'd like you to handle that and get rid of it if possible. At least, if nothing else, figure out what it is, and perhaps, if more bodies keep appearing, something suspicious someone's going to investigate and potentially find out things we don't want them knowing. So I would prefer you eliminate the situation or rectify the situation as fast as possible if you can find out what it is. And if it's a person, let me know and I'll run it through the proper channels.
Okay, so we're going to need a couple of things. First, we're going to need some passports, but also we're going to need some firearms inside of Canada because we're not going to be able to bring them over the border.
Well, the firearms you may want to, I could give you some contacts there. I'm not sure it's prudent for us to dead drop assault weapons into a foreign country. They do allow shotguns and rifles. That's certainly an option. If you're quite clever, you might be able to sneak some other things through the border yourselves. If you want to take that risk, I can obtain what you'd like. And as far as passports, it's probably prudent to use yours. If you don't have one, then I suppose I can pay for the expedited processing. Remember, you're going as ghost facers to investigate this cool spirit, this creepy village where people are disappearing, and clearly your cover is the ghost facers show. So no one will think it's weird for you to be there.
Yeah, no.
Except for if we try to smuggle guns in, so let's not do that.
We probably shouldn't do that. But so, Erin kind of tries to get like all CSI. He's like, what does the autopsy report say? Is there any like familiarity with the victims? Or are they all men? Are there men and women? Is it only women? Is it children? Like, he wants like particulars before we.
He says all that we can gather directly, of course, is that they died from blood loss, and we have gotten some leaked information to suggest that they were not drowned. So that's all we know there. It is men and women. It does not seem to be a discrimination of gender. No children as of yet, thankfully. Other than that, the official autopsy reports would be at the coroners. I wish I would have said Nova Scotia because Halifax is the capital. I don't know what Newfoundland's
You can change it.
I don't know what a big city in Newfoundland is. I thought Newfoundland. Am I crazy that it's on the ocean? It's the one all the way over, right?
Yeah, it's up on the top. It's kind of like Scotlandish.
Yeah, so I don't know. Whatever.
Big town in Newfoundland.
Whatever the closest bigger town there is. I actually don't know. Let's say Mary's Harbor. Let's say Mary's Harbor is where it is. I don't know. There's probably like 3 people that live there because it's pretty remote. But that showed up on Google as a bigger city. So let's say that. The coroner's reports would be there. I'd suggest perhaps you can charm your way in or perhaps sneak your way in to obtain any more information if you desire. Again, it does seem odd that there's not a particular profile of victim. So again, something does seem quite off about the situation, which is why we're sending you. And again, find out as much as you can from the locals, whatever legends there may be, investigate the situation, report back, and I would highly encourage you to find a way to rid them of this particularly insidious creature, or if it's a man by some chance or woman, if nothing else, identify them so that we can report them to the proper authorities, and perhaps we can just solve the problem through conventional channels.
We'll identify it, and then we'll keep getting successive commands to like bring it like it's left testicle, and then it's like that's not enough. So I'm not really saying that. I'm just making a.
He's thinking it.
Yeah.
God, I wish you would have.
Yeah. So, all right. I mean, do we have like a couple of days still? We like tie up some loose ends here. I have a Skype call I got to make, and then.
Yeah, sure. I would say, a day or two, certainly. I think that's more than fair. But the longer you wait, the more people who could die. So, maybe,
I get it.
Maybe don't drag your feet too much, boys.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do some research, and we got to figure out what's going on. I mean, we're
of course,
we're not going to be sitting idly by.
Of course.
All right. Will the postal system work the same way in Newfoundland as it does here? You guys have full access. I realize it's not like normal channels kind of thing.
Absolutely. That won't be a problem. The bigger problem is the postcards are quite easy to transport without detection. Crates of guns, on the other hand, could create an international incident that probably wouldn't go well for anybody.
Gotcha. Understood. Shit, I had another question, and I can't remember what it was. It seemed like it would be really important. So are we on the hook for this? We get like reimbursement? Do we like file, like a request when we come back? Like, how does that work? I don't remember what we did last time.
Oh, well, it's a job. So you'll be hauling these several crates of spare parts for fishing boat motors, as well as fishing nets and a few other goods that locals will need as they're preparing for the winter. So, supplies, food, heating oil, things like that. So you'll be shipping a load as if you were working. So charge everything on the charge everything. You'll be reimbursed, and of course you'll be getting paid the entire time. So, and if any unusual expenses come up, let me know.
All right, sounds good. I mean,
Cool.
if that's what you have for us, then we'll get on that as soon as we can.
All right, gentlemen, I appreciate your help. I have a good feeling about this. Be careful, stay out of harm's way, and get one for the Gipper.
Oh, hey, wait! Before you go, I have another question. And he leans in. It's like he comes back to the table and he kind of like just sit. So the people that are here, right? Are they only here, or do they like work for the company? Like, how does that work? Like, I was talking to Glenn and like just asked him if he worked for the company. He didn't really seem to know what I was talking about. So just so we know when we're talking to people, are we not supposed to talk about business?
Well, I wouldn't maybe mention the particulars of your business.
Yeah.
But most of the folks here, at least on some level, do know that they're living in or working in a pocket dimension. Some of them do live outside of the town, and others live inside the town. As far as the particulars of that situation, that's more of a need-to-know basis. But no, Glenn lives in town.
Has he always lived in town? Like was he here with
why you're asking me? You could just ask Glenn this,
I don't know if it was like some like secret like shit or whatever. Like he doesn't know that like he's in a pocket dimension. They never leave. Like I just want to know where we stand.
Well, it's not going to freak him out if you talk about the outside world. He knows it's there. But as far as Glenn knows, he's only lived here.
All right, that's all I need to know.
All right. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. See you later, boys.
All right, we'll be in touch.
He heads out.
I love how he says, stay out of harm's way, and yet we're going to a place where there's dead bodies with their blood taken out of them, basically. I mean, how the fuck do we stay out of harm's way doing this shit?
Are you thinking vampires? Because I'm thinking fucking vampires. I mean, we've got those things with the plates on our eyes, no blood.
Yeah, you know what? His name's Edward, too. I mean, I don't want to see any shimmery shit. The worst. All right.
Have we ever seen him outside? Does that motherfucker sparkle or what?
Yeah, no shit. You never see him. He always disappears.
He just comes in when we're here. I've never seen him outside before.
That's right. Fuck that guy.
To be fair, you don't actually see anybody outside, usually.
That's true.
Like, there aren't people walking around, really? It's kind of empty, other than the buildings that you've been told you can go to.
It's
FYI.
very shining as. Yeah.
FYI, all the other buildings are basically empty looking. And the ones that
I bet you we go to any of those other buildings that they didn't tell us about. I bet you we just push them over. I bet you there's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, they look weird when we came in that first time. Remember? They all look like empty storefronts or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Look like something out of Blazing Saddles or something. It's weird.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, Canada. I haven't been there.
Yeah, me neither. It's a good thing I got my passport.
Yeah, I've never been outside of. I mean, besides here in Philadelphia, I haven't been anywhere else.
Oh, well, you're taking your first big trip then.
Yep, looks like it.
Off to Canada, So,
Have you ever been up there, Jack? I mean, you drive all over the friggin' place.
Oh yeah, man. Not that place in Canada, but man, I've been a lot. I've been more to the west coast of Canada. I've been up, not in
Like Vancouver and shit?
Yeah, but not super north like ice road truckers or anything like that, But yeah, I've been in a lot of places in Canada. Alberta.
Do you take the gun when you go? Like, do you take that out of the cab? Like, we don't want to get like busted, right?
They generally, they're not usually searching my whole truck. You know what I mean? Because I was always working with a company, so it was usually just not a big deal.
All right, I defer to you on that. I mean, you're a truck driver, so
yeah, they would kind of pass me through. You can't fuck around. You can't be like joking, or else they'll like tear your whole fucking car apart. But if things are on the up and up, it gets usually pretty good. Pretty easy to get through everything.
That sounds good. I have all the paperwork.
I'm just excited to try the cuisine. Like the poutine, the touter. Some maple syrup. I mean, come on, that's gonna be great.
The salads.
Oh yeah, the salad. That's what I meant.
Well, you can put that Canadian bacon on the salad. It's really good.
That is true. Maybe I can have some fiddlehead fern. That's good for you.
Tried fish.
Yeah, you get fucking lobsters and shit up there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm assuming. I don't know. It's above Maine. Probably fucking lobsters.
Some lobster rolls. Oh man,
probably.
I don't know.
It'd be great for me to know that, but in this world, we're gonna say yes. They have lobsters by the fucking buck ton. That's a
and they get them from Maine.
Yeah, they buy them all from Maine. Wah, wah.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Not to. I have no other way to communicate, so I don't want to screw anything up. I'm wondering if that's a good place to wrap it.
That's cool. I mean, if you want to jump, I don't know, Neil. Do you want to do the Skype call still? Do you want to save that till next time, or
we can save it. It'll add some variety to that as well. Episode.
Right, cool.
I like to have some breaks of different stuff here and there, so it won't be all Canadian adventure.
That's the next episode title. The Canadian Adventure.
I thought it's called All Canadian Adventure.
Well, it could be that too.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna make a note right now.
It's a pretty sweet name.
Excellent. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to like 40 hours of other podcasts to try to name everything now.
Oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. That sounds like a goddamn nightmare.
I can't even keep up with the podcasts that we have already. We have like 2 Rogue Trader episodes in the can, and a bunch of other stuff starting to build up. The cycle is so friggin' long. It's terrible. I mean, it's good and it's terrible because then people have to fucking wait.
Yeah, I'm hoping people aren't like, I have no idea what's happening, so I'm not even going to pay attention.
Well, we always do the recap, which I hope is helpful.
I assume it helps me. I mean, I can run an episode from that. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, so I put up a poll on Twitter because I'm potentially gonna do like a 2 episode release during the week, and then take one game every week, a la Fandible. Shout out to Fandible. And it's looking at this point, the votes went to Cypher. So my thought, maybe after Necronomicon, is to do Cypher like every week as a release. which will shorten up the time in between a little bit, because then that game will come out of the rotation.
Yeah.
So
that'll help.
It'll help. And we're not doing as many interviews right now, so I'm trading work for work. I'm not doing interview work, but just be doing more editing for that.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
We'll see what happens.
Well, listen, guys, I'm gonna call it a night here.
All right.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
All right. Thanks for playing.
Take it easy, Brett.
Good seeing you.
I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, good seeing you too.
Cool. And we'll touch base before that to see what's going on with But I'm gonna see you on Thursday. So.
Yeah, just call me or text me when you get in. We'll meet up and get you settled at the hotel and all that shit.
Awesome, man. And then,
cool.
Like I said, dude, first round of Lovecraft beers are on me. So
awesome.
So, do it up.
All right, guys. Sounds good.
I'll see you.
Take it easy.
See you, bro.
Sweet. Well, thanks for running again. It's another awesome game. This was a little slow, but that's kind of our normal fear game. So
you're like, yeah, it was slow, but that's our normal pace. So it was normal.
Yeah, unfortunately, Neil, when you went to get some water, you missed all of the made-up wrestling game names that we were trying to come up with that were absolutely awful. It was awesome.
Man. Now you mean I have to listen to this episode?
Yep. Now you have to go back and listen to it.
Fuck that!
Shit. And we've got birds officially being supplied at the diner now, potentially.
I know, it's going to be they're going to pick that up. It's going to be their coffee.
Awesome.
It's secret pocket dimension, the best of places to be served.
Yep. Sales will go through the roof.
That's right. By weirdos that may or may not live there / be people. Who knows? I haven't decided entirely if they are going to be people now, but they probably are people.
Well, I mean, I assume they were people, but I didn't know if
they could be
if they'd always existed there.
Yeah,
I hope they're aliens with human skin on them, like
Men in Black.
Like that dude from the last.
I'm not
like that dude from the last Starfighter or whatever that pulled off his face and then he's being a weird looking alien dude.
That would be cool.
Some guy from V or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, V. Forgot about that show.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Such a bad, awful, great show.
Yeah, it was really bad. But as a kid, I really loved their laser guns. All I remember was the fucking lasers were awesome.
Yep.
So you can tell what's important to me as a child, how awesome my taste was.
I'm gonna have to try to go through Brett's sheet and see what he spent or not spent. I don't think he spent anything since character creation.
No, there's no way.
So I was like,
I don't even know. I don't even think he knows what his sheet looks like. I think he just when we talk to him about pulling up his sheet, he's like, click. Oh yeah, I've got it right here.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I got 5 points in that.
Yeah.
You're like, do you? Sure. Yeah.
It's more about the story, than the points.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, the rules are more for just does something crazy happen? Otherwise, it's more.
But the cool thing about the training montage is that we can then justify spending points on specific things that we wouldn't necessarily have access to, maybe. So the esoteric knowledge, or Randy to bump his athletics, or to bump his fighting or something, the scuffling or whatever. So we have an in story, because usually you don't get that, right? You're you guys get 2 XP. Oh, I bought 2 in mechanics.
Yeah, and it's
I worked on my car
and how.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and that's what I like when I don't run that much stuff, but when I run it, I always tell people, I say, if you're gonna put something in something, I want to know why. I don't want it to just be oh, I'm a good fighter. Yeah, well, that's great, but how did you figure that out? You can't just be a good fighter.
Yeah. Well, it's like Jesse in the Rogue Trader game. Like, hey, we were exposed to this stuff. Like, is there some way I could not be scared every time something happens?
Yeah. And I want to be like, willpower. And he's like, but that's really expensive. And I'm like, but if you want a talent that lets you re-roll fear tests like the priest has, you'd have to pay some exorbitantly insane XP cost anyway, because why would you get that? You don't have that as a talent option.
Well, so I could see making an argument for Jaded, right? Because I think that's the one that I have that lets me re-roll fear and pinning tests. Because now, we've seen some shit, it's a talent. So just like skills, like if you can make an argument for a skill that's not in your list, then it's up to the GM's discretion. Like, oh, okay, you don't have piloting on your list, but when you guys were fleeing from whatever you had to try to pilot the craft, it crashed, but you piloted, so okay, make a spend, but it's going to cost you, instead of 200, it costs 300 or maybe 400. So maybe it saves them, even if you charge them 3 or 4, it's still less than 5, right? And he still has a really shitty number to roll against.
Yeah.
So you're helping and hurting if you let him do it.
Well, that was my thing. I'm like, even if I let you do that, you're going to have a real shit-ass will. Your will's going to suck ass no matter what. So that's not helping you so much. But if he wants to take it, I can, like Jaded, I would let him take, because he's now been piss my pants terrified of multiple things that everyone else fought. And so it's kind of like I'm the fucking military badass guy and I look like a pussy to everyone. So that I could see. But yeah, he'll have to pay a little more for it for sure. And
it's the illusion of choice, right? I mean, that's the GM's greatest thing. Okay, sure, you could take it. It's going to cost you an extra 100. Then you go to make the roll. And well, shit, I'm rolling against a 20.
Yeah, and you're like, fuck, two times against 20 still sucks. Yeah, it does. A lot. Yeah. Not good.
You're welcome, Jesse.
Oh, this is live still.
Yeah, we're still recording. He listens.
No, I meant live.
Oh, yeah. No, nobody's listening right now.
Well, then cut that out.
No, it's more fun if I leave it in. See,
did I say anything offensive? I was like, wait, did I say something offensive thinking we weren't recording?
No,
I don't think I did.
So, that's the thing.
When we cut off the live, you just start saying a bunch of offensive shit.
I start being like, that fucking asshole in this game, what a goddamn piece of shit. He thinks he can fucking take that skill. He can go fuck himself and his family. He rode in on. I don't know why you would ride in on your family, but
yeah, I know that was number one, difficult, very difficult, and number two doesn't seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's weird.
It makes him even more of an asshole.
That's right.
That is true.
What kind of a dick does that? The worst kind. That's ew.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'll let him probably take something like that. Is definitely doable. But yeah, it's kind of like, dude, your will. I don't understand. Yeah, I guess because it's right. It's a game balance, right? He can't have a ton of will because he's good at killing stuff. So that's one of those things where if his will is super high, then you have no way of stopping that character, right? It's like if you can't use spells on someone in D&D and they have an AC that's insane, then you're like, well, I'm fucked because now what do I do? There's no way to hurt them. So you kind of have to have a way to there has to be a weakness.
Yeah, yeah.
His will be, I peed my pants. Yeah.
It's great.
It's fun. It's a fun game. It worked pretty well last time, I thought. That was good. It's like the anti-fear itself. It's just all fighting stuff and getting ambushed.
Yeah, I mean, I love this game for that aspect. Just all of the of just the minutia. Like I gotta call my mom. I'm gonna write out my bills because it's like today with monsters. Like it's just the normal world with fucked up
Yeah.
shit. So
Like
like
you
you
actually
gotta
have to
do it.
do things and be like, do I have a debit card for the company expenses? Do I but yeah, you actually have to say, what do you do to not continue to be insane? Because you can't just be like, well, we finished that mission, so I feel great after getting mind raped by a fucking elongated, otherworldly drug dealer, stretchy man. That's not normal. You can't just go back home and be like, well, I'm fine now.
Yeah, yeah.
We solved it. It's like, no, you got to de-stress. So
Mhm.
that's what I like the system because it does lend a lot of fun reality to the games of what you're doing. So it reminds me a lot of that game that I don't remember now that was really good that lasted maybe a season or two, and it was their own system. I'd have to go back now to give them a shout out. Now I feel bad, but that was the best podcast for a long time. And they did what you.
Besides this one.
That's right. Well, I said it was the best for a long time till this one came out. But that's what you do. You do what they did, which was edit out all of the table talk, or most of the table talk. So
we don't really have any though. I mean, there's very little that I need to edit out that gets far afield from the game. Like I do ums and ahs and coughs and you know if there's awkward pauses or there might be some out of character stuff or the D&D game is bad for that. We'll have to edit out chunks of page flipping and looking up certain so that stuff I try to keep down. But these games all run fairly tight. Jesse's game too, and there's not a lot of other shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's not a ton.
Even when it seems like we're fucking around, we're still within the world almost, when Neil took off and we could have just been like, well, just wait for Neil. We actually added something to the story that doesn't really need to be there, but it was kind of a fun little thing to actually have in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that kind of stuff because it just fleshes everything out,
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things too where it's like there's not, like you said, there's not really any big chunks of stuff to cut out. So it's like there's constantly some part of a story happening. So it kind of grows that world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really do feel like we probably, I'd say me, have to start a wiki or something. I take notes and thing. And I was going to suggest to my mom that we have my brother over for dinner. And for the life of me, I don't know if I ever gave him a name. And I'm sure I probably did. I don't fucking remember. And I don't see it in my notes. And I never wrote it on my character sheet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
When it's scattered and you don't do it as long either, you remember good parts that stick in your mind, but you don't remember every little thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Ugh. And it's so many hours of podcasts to have to go back through now, and I don't listen to that many because I'm just so far behind with shit. I don't get that much time at work.
Yeah.
That to sit and listen to 13 episodes at 3 hours a piece, I'm looking at pushing 80 hours a podcast.
Yeah. That sounds
I don't know.
A nightmare to retract down because I don't think I.
And then I have to take all new notes.
I'm trying to look. I don't think I took note of that. Unfortunately, I was not taking electronic notes at the time.
Yeah.
Now I take them as I go with the the character names and stuff. I make a note of as we're playing.
I was impressed that you knew the name of the hotel concierge.
I didn't start taking name notes until the Washington, D.C. Rare Collections director. So that was when you went to the Native American person to talk about the
The Huron stuff.
Raven, yeah, the Huron stuff. So, yeah, like that's when I started. So I don't have anything before that, but I have everything after that. If we didn't have names, like I'm pretty sure we didn't have a name for the soda jerk until today.
I don't think so. I think he was. I think you just said like, "There's a soda jerk behind the counter." I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Eventually, it's good to name people. So.
Yeah. I just imagine the guy from Back to the Future behind the counter. That's all I could think of.
It's pretty similar. It's pretty close.
Yep.
See, I went Twilight Zone.
Nice.
There's an episode where the guy goes back, he's going home, and he winds up going back in time and seeing his young self. And as he goes into where the carnival is, there's a soda jerk. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm older than fuck, so what do you want?
I've seen all the Twilight Zones. I watch it every New Year's.
Yeah, like 4th of July, too. I think they normally have a marathon. I have them all on my DVR.
Wow.
There's like 156 episodes.
Yeah, how the fuck do you have that much room anyway?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a lot of room on your DVR.
Oh, they're only 20 minutes a clip, right?
Yeah, but still 20 times that many. That's a lot of fucking space.
I don't know what's on there. I couldn't even tell you.
Nice.
All right, we should probably wrap this because probably nobody gives a shit about us watching the Twilight Zone. So
probably not.
Thanks everybody for checking us out. We hope you continue to enjoy the Fear game. I know maybe one of the slower ones, but it's certainly enjoyable for us to play and be able to kind of flesh out that world. So we hope that you're enjoying it. If you do, reach out, leave us a comment, jump in on the live chat while we're playing. Post some comments up there. We certainly appreciate that. If you can leave us a rating or a review on iTunes or Podchaser or whatever your podcatcher of choice is, all that stuff really helps. And we would appreciate you doing that. And we'll catch you next time.
Say something nice so I don't feel bad about myself.